Okay, it is September 27th, 2016. It is 5:46 p.m. and this is part 2 of my incarceration experience. And where I had left off in the last one was that I was sitting on the bench scared to death, and I had texted my then boyfriend, now my ex, because he's a loser. And I didn't get any response from him, so I was playing with my phone and just kind of, killing time or whatever. An officer finally comes over to me and he's like, "Ma'am." I look up and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're going to need to come with me." So he walks me over to this holding cell, which is what they call it a bullpen. And it's, basic cell. I mean, whatever. It's just a big room with usually wooden benches in Cuyahoga County. And then it has a toilet and sink in the corner, and the toilet has a 3-foot high partition made out of concrete that is 3/4 of the way around the toilet. So that way people can still see you sitting on the toilet, they just can't see all of you sitting on the toilet. I guess it's like a false sense of privacy and security, or I don't know. Anyway, and the toilet just looked absolutely nasty, so I was like, oh my god, I hope I don't have to go to the bathroom in a minute. Because when I get nervous, I have to pee. Go figure. Anyway, so I'm sitting in that bullpen and I'm by myself and I'm just like, oh my god, what am I doing? My life is over. This is terrible. I start crying. I take my hoodie off, I wad it up into a ball, and I use it as a pillow, and I fall asleep. Then I wake up and I start crying again, and then I fall asleep again. And then I wake up again, and this happens a couple more times, and then finally a female officer comes up to the door, and she's like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "Hey, yes." She's like, "You need to come with me." I'm like, "Okay." So I follow her all the way to booking. She comes in, and she's like, "Go up there to that counter." So I go up. This lady looks at me, and she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, and the lady's like, "Oh, this is so-and-so, blah, blah, blah," tells her information. She's like, "Oh, okay." She looks at me, she's like, "You look like you're, she's like, "You look like she's like, "You look like you're tired." I was like, "Yes, I am." She's like, "Okay." She's like, "You need to come in here." And she brings me into another room. She's like, "And I need you to stand right there by that wall." She's like, "Don't move." I'm like, okay. So I'm standing there like, I had put my hoodie back on because I was like nervous. So I was like tucking my hands into my sleeves like I do when I'm nervous. I do a lot of weird shit when I'm nervous. And, and then she's like, "Okay, stay right there." She gets the camera, she takes a picture. She's like, "Okay, I'm going to need you to turn to the left." So I turn to the left. "Okay, I'm going to need you to turn back face front." "Okay, now turn to the right." I'm like, "Okay." And the whole time I had tears on my cheeks, so, the pictures looked absolutely horrible. I actually found my mugshot online. And it's a horrible one, because I don't think anybody takes a good mugshot. If you take a good mugshot, then you've had a lot of practice, and you're not the kind of person that I want to roll with, because, that means that you're proud of being a miscreant. And me, it was not my calling in life to become an ex-con. But anyway, so then after that's done, then she's like, "Okay, you need to go in there and sit down and wait." So I sat down in this other little area. It wasn't really a bullpen area. It's just like a little whatever. It still had benches. It had a phone that you could use if you had somebody that you could call that would collect call charges or whatever. And I was just looking at it going, oh, I wish I had my phone, because I had to surrender my phone and everything when I was getting my picture taken. I emptied my pockets and everything like that, and they took it and put it in a little baggie with my name on it and gave me a receipt saying, "Oh, this person had, a coin purse, ID, cell phone, and one unopened pack of cigarettes and one half full of cigarettes. And then I was just like, well, I said, don't I get my cigarettes? And she's like, no. I was like, but I thought that we were allowed to smoke in jail. And she looks at me, she looks at her partner, she looks at me, she starts laughing. She's like, oh, honey, no. Basically like, are you stupid? And she's like, you've never been arrested before, have you? I'm like, no. She's like, okay, fine. So, yeah, and they put my clothes in a little baggie too. Anyway, so they had me stripped down and they were like, okay, they're like, you look like you're an extra large. And they hand me a set of scrubs, a dark blue scrub top and dark blue scrub pants. And I'm like, okay, where do I go to change? And they're like, go. I said, no, you change right here. So, I'm undressing very nervously and very uncomfortably in front of these officers that I'm sure has seen many a naked body in their profession. Ugh. And, they take one look at my underoos, which were, I'll just say they were not white underwear. They were my cute underwear. I don't know why I decided to wear my cute underwear to jail. They took one look at those and said, oh, honey, you can't have those in jail. I'm like, I can't have any underwear? They're like, no, you can have these. And they pushed some obviously well-used but clean panties my way. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just telling myself, just don't make a fuss. Just do this. Just do what they tell you. Don't make a fuss. Just stay calm. And I go to take off my bra, and they're like, is that an underwire? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, yeah, can't have that either. And I'm like, I can't wear a bra in jail? They're like, oh yeah, you can wear one of these. And they throw a dingy one that was like 2 sizes too small for my comfort. I'm a D, that was like a B, I think, and I was just like, my cups runneth over, and they're like, well, deal with it, we don't have your size. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, so then by that time I'm all dressed, ready to go, and people milling right there, probably wondering why I was talking to my phone. Whatever. I get self-conscious like that, I guess. But anyway, so, yeah. So then the female officer's like, well, you need to come with me. Follow me. And she said, you need to walk as close to this wall as you can. Look straight ahead. Do not look to either side of you. And whenever we have to stop to get on the elevator, you are to go to the back of the elevator and face the back of the elevator. If we happen to stop during our walk to where I'm taking you, you are to stand facing the wall with your hands behind your back. Do you understand? I said, yes, ma'am. She's like, good. She's like, let's go. So she basically escorts me to the pod. Now, my pod was, let's see, okay, it was, jail 2, floor 2, pod A, 22A. So that was the new pod. That was the never been to prison pod. That was the I am going through withdrawals from very addictive substances and I am sick and near death pod. Because I had to deal with a lot of people puking and shitting their brains out. And hearing the sounds. Thankfully, I didn't have a bunkie that was going through 2 terrible withdrawals. They were just basically except for one of them, they were bitches. The rest of them, just one was awesome. The rest of them were fucking bitches. And that was the first bunkie I had. So thankfully, my first one kind of, told me the ropes, told me what to expect. So that was cool. But anyway, so they take me in and they're just like, they're like, you hungry? I'm like, no. They're like, okay, whatever. And I was too nervous to eat. So they walk me over to my cell number 6. And my bunkie's in there and she's reading. And they're like, all right, you're going to need to step in. she said, we're something like, you guys are stepped in until whatever time. Now, the thing is about time and county. They don't put clocks where inmates can see them except in medical. Medical is the only place that has visible clocks. I don't know if they do that so that you feel like you have no concept of time, you don't know what the fuck is going on outside or anything like that. I don't know. But that actually drove me crazy not seeing a clock, because it made me feel, and church bell going off just as I say all this, but it made me feel like all of a sudden time did not exist, and that I was sucked into some weird alternate reality where I'm this big bad baddie and I'm, doing a hard time or whatever. So, yeah, that was very unnerving. Part 3 coming up very soon.